Hey everybody, and welcome back to game analysis. So I am still traveling, still on vacation, but today I'm bringing you the game from Montreal, game two versus Lou Cornelis. And yeah, again, I'm going to try this new format out. Please let me know what you think about it because I know that the best part of it is that it's more concise. The videos aren't as long. There's not as much downtime with analysis. So yeah, if you could let me know if there's anything you recommend I do for this setup, this new setup that I'll show you right now. Yeah, really happy to hear any feedback. So there you go. All right. So my opening rack here was very funny, Unthick, and part of me was like wondering if that was actually a word, and most of me was telling me that it wasn't. So I decided that I would not play Unthick. Um, and I just played Chunk. Um, and yeah, this is a funny comment. Forgot I made this comment. Yeah, my opening play in my last game was a bingo, so I felt like if I had an opening bingo in this game, I was just too lucky, basically. So that was another not as not as like precise logical reason that Unthick was not a word, but I didn't remember it, so I didn't play it. Um, Blue plays recoils, and I draw the Q. And this is an interesting spot because I can play, I guess, a couple of things here that I saw. I saw the word equity, which is a word I miss very often, even though it's a very common word in Scrabble. In strategic analysis, we talk about equity a lot. Um, so equity through the Q, through the U, and Quay through the U. And yeah, the comment I said is that EIOT normally I just would not want to keep that. Um, but there aren't really any scoring spots on the board unless he has an S, or if he has a big scoring play through the R as well. So I might have been hesitant, maybe more hesitant to play Quay if I thought that he would like be really likely to have a 40-point play through the R that he would play. But I figured with a lead, it was less likely that Lou would want to play through that R. But I guess if he has a big enough play, it's fine. There's also this spot to the IN, so if something like WHIN comes down, that is 31 points. So it's possible I sort of like underestimated how likely scoring plays were on Lou's end. But I think, yeah, I think my play of Quay was okay. The biggest issue with it is it leaves open an S hook and I don't have an S. And the game is close, so I don't necessarily need to be creating that opportunity. So it's possible that I should have played equity. Um, but yeah, Quay seemed fine at the time. So Lou plays guard, and here um, I could have played into for I think 24 points. 4, 6, 7, 11, no. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 12, 22. So it's 3 extra points. The problem is it keeps 3 E's. Now, normally keeping an E and an O and an E and an E, that's very similar in value, but keeping 3 E's versus EEO is definitely much better. But the extra points could have been nice. This also set up another S hook of Stein, and again, like, I'm creating these S hooks, but what if I don't draw an S? Well, my thinking was that the C in chunks is likely to be used for a bingo at some point. Whenever you put a C on the opening star, it's very ripe for the taking at some point in the game because so many 8-letter words start with C. I don't know if any of you know this, probably some of you do, but the C is the second most likely tile to start an 8-letter word, but behind the S. So the S has the most words that end in it and start in it by just a huge margin, but the C is the next spot in line. There's a massive amount of words that start with C. Um, so putting a C there in a spot like this is really just asking for a bingo to come down at some point from it. Um, Less so with the P. The P is almost as good as the C for starting words, but the main reason the C is so much of a threat here, or maybe it's a benefit depending on where you stand, is because it doesn't overlap. There are no two-letter words with C. So as a result, it's extremely unlikely to go away anytime soon. So yeah, I figured that I didn't really need to worry too much about S's here. But yeah, I had nowhere to score, and I'm definitely way behind here. I drew two vowels to my three vowel, one consonant leave, which was potentially relatively likely to happen. Um, so yeah, TIN seems okay, but maybe into is okay as well to score some more points. So Lou plays Matzah, and yeah, he's now ahead by 70. He's just been able to score. Um, I guess just last turn's 51 points. Guard wasn't really that big of a score. Um, but yeah, I could leave the G here just because it's a consonant, and it'll help me to make plays next turn, I guess, that don't leave too many vowels. But the G is just so bad. And I'm setting up ITE with this play, so if I draw like a V or if I draw some letter, some combination of letters maybe, I should be able to play down the C column for decent score if he doesn't take that spot. All right, so Lou plays Bindis. Yeah, things are not going very well. Now the C is gone. This S hook is taken. He scores some points. I have nothing to show for. But I found Cheddite, and I just wasn't 100% sure that it was valid. I had not yet seen it in my eights marathon. I was hoping to finish looking through the eights before the Montreal tournament, but unfortunately I failed that, and so I was only around, I guess, halfway through, not even when I stopped and when I played the tournament. So Cheddite hadn't yet come up, so I was really not sure that it was valid, but I finally played it. Um, so at least there was that. Now I'm back in the game. And then Lou plays AE, so okay, if he continues to draw no scoring tiles, then maybe I could be able to come back this game. So I played Jaw. It's not very nice to play Jaw, keeping IRRST. The main benefit is that I will often draw bingo through the E, but if that is blocked, then I am in big trouble. But Jaw is clearly better than just like Jar, because Jar, although unduplicates, scores 6 fewer points, and also doesn't bingo like nearly enough for it to be worth playing over Jar. And I need to bingo at this point pretty much, if I'm going to be keeping such poor scoring letters. If I keep the W, it seems like that's a scoring letter, but there's no spot for it on this board, so it's going to be really hard to come back in this game without a bingo at this point. So Lou plays Canonize, and now he's ahead by 94, and I have a columns only bingo through the E. And yeah, I don't know if I made the right play here. I played Tori. I think, I don't know. My hope again was that he leaves this E alone. The problem is human player is quite likely to use this end column, not just to block, not even necessarily to block this E, but because the X is lurking. So if he doesn't have the X, he might want to play here to try and prevent X plays, easy X plays. And if he does have the X, well, he's scoring 52 and blocking my E, which I really need here. So there might be some play like Riot and Moat, which is potentially necessary here, to just try and open more space. But the idea is that guards is still there. This E is still there. The board still has some breathing space on it, especially since I've now drawn an S. So I decided to play Tori, just try and leave the E alone. Hopefully his rack doesn't work to block this E, but it did. He played Dub. I didn't even draw into a bingo, but now the E is blocked. And I play Scry for 48 because that's my highest score, and I'm down 100. I'm not really sure. I didn't put a comment here. I mean, this is a spot where I don't necessarily want to play Scry. Like, I might want to play like Trist for 29. It's just that I'm down by so much, so I kind of needed to felt like I needed to score. But it's possible that I need to leave this alone to try to draw the blank. The problem is there's no S's left, so I need to draw the blank if I'm going to use the guard spot. So unless I keep my S, this spot isn't really that valuable anymore. But if I play Trist down here, I mean, I can maybe, yeah, it doesn't look good. So yeah, I guess Scry is the only play. Lou plays Ref, and again, now it's just a race to the blank. If I don't draw the blank, I'm going to lose. Yeah, and again, like maybe I play to moat and try to play through, but the problem is if I play Volt at D3, then play through the V to open up lanes, the lanes I'm opening up suck. So I don't know. I kind of have to hope for something really good here. Blue plays B, just keeps scoring. I play 5 to reopen this spot here, the 14 row, which at least now there's some hope. But Lou sees that and he blocks it. And now again, I'm stuck with like no scoring tiles and down 64 points. Not even close to a bingo. And my best idea was just playing auto. And it likes D4 oat. Like I considered playing oat and moat. The problem is again, like a human player is going to respond pretty well to that play. Like Lou's probably going to just overlap it on the E column a lot, which doesn't give back a bingo lane necessarily. So yeah, there are many ways after oat for Lou to just clamp down on everything that's left on this board, like even playing through the C. Like if I play oat and he overlaps, it blocks the C as well. So yeah, it's really not looking so good. And oat also blocks the T immediately. That was the main reason I didn't want to play it, is because this T is a bingo lane. I can end in ANT, I can end in a couple of things potentially. So I decided to play auto, just try to score a little bit more and then try to draw the blank. But yeah, Lou told me, okay, so Lou told me he had the last I, so I wasn't worried about the C. But yeah, the blank was still unseen, I think, when he played PA. And yeah, now there are 3 in the bag, right? Yeah, there are 3 in the bag, and I play Awe. And I just thought that was my best chance of hitting a bingo, but actually I don't know that I'm hitting so many more bingos with AELMN. I didn't actually see anything that I was hitting ever. I was low on time, but the play that I wanted to make was Wii for 29 points, I think. 16, 18, 22, 31, yeah. Wii was 31. So not only would we like potentially he might see some bingos at play in the pool, if especially if the blank is still unseen, but it would also score enough so that like maybe I could somehow swindle the game without a bingo. But yeah, that part seemed very unlikely. But yeah, at this point I probably should have just played Wii because I'm like almost never winning this game, and I didn't see any bingos I was really hitting anyway. And so this Wii was just better for spread. I played AW. I'm not really sure if it's right. He played Orabai, and he had drawn the blank at this point. And yeah, I have Almner, and he goes out with Urns, and that's it. So very puzzling game. Basically, don't really know exactly what I did wrong. It just felt like there were some improvements I could make on my plays. But otherwise, I feel like I did pretty well. Despite all that, I just think there was a way to win this game, and I haven't yet really seen it in my analysis. There are some plays that could go the other way. Some ideas of maybe keeping the board open long term that I didn't really think about, because the board did die on me, and there was really nowhere to go. Even if I drew the blank, there was really nowhere to bingo. So it's possible I should have made a play on the D column at some point, where Urns was played. And it's possible that this game was just very, very difficult, which I think it was. So yeah, if anybody has any suggestions of plays, obviously, that I missed, if you're wondering why I didn't do a certain thing, feel free to let me know in comments. Obviously, I'm always down to hear extra analysis. I love it, analyzing. I love hearing from you guys. Um, and yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode for, I guess, game 3.